What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Behind the Glass Sports Podcast. We thank you guys for hanging out with us on a Saturday, a football Saturday. Broncos football back. We got first game of the preseason against the Vikings. It's actually underway right now. Would have been a touchdown on the board had not Jerry Jeudy held. So hopefully that means his hands are working correctly, though, this year, and he will not only hold on to defenders, but hold on to the football when it is thrown his way. So I guess that's some shred of optimism. I'm very excited to watch Justin Fields play today, to just really kill it for us. Oh, wait. He's not playing for us today. He's wearing a different blue and orange. To the tune of, 14 of 20... 2 touchdowns, 142 yards. I get it. He played the Dolphins' second strings, maybe third strings. The guy still looked really good, though. So here's to being jealous for the next 10 to 15 years of Bears fans. But Sean, our good buddy Sean Tafoya, told me I could be a Bears fan whenever I want to. So you're a Chiefs fan, so I might just walk over to the Bears side of things. Just might what I mean, I might be doing that.
Just want to say I am not a Chiefs fan.
Well, you were kicked off the boat. You decided to switch allegiances, so you don't get to come back. I don't even know why you're actually watching this game. You're not even a Broncos fan anymore, so you shouldn't even be watching this game. But good first drive for the offense. The defense forced a 3 and out. Good first drive. Javonte Williams, rookie running back that they drafted out of North Carolina. First 2 carries were 2 first downs. So that's exciting. Like I said, he would have had a touchdown, but Jerry Jeudy held. So right now they're at like the 4-yard line, I believe. I think they're going for it on 4th down here, actually.
Yeah, it looks like they are.
So we'll see. Vic Fangio has no choice but to watch the offense this game. He can't just watch one side.
And it's a preseason, so you might as well just go for it. 4th and 2.
4th down. Yeah, 4th and 2. They got a lot back on the screenplay from Royce Freeman.
Slanted Jeudy.
Oh my gosh! Did he drop it, or did that get knocked down?
It was knocked away. I don't necessarily like that call, but
he was open. I think if Locke let him a little bit more.
Sure. I mean, I guess he could have let him a little bit more, but that's a tough play for Jeudy.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's just good. That's a good play by 29.
Yeah.
That's a good play.
I mean, might have been a little bit grabby, but again, I think if Locke leads him a little bit more, I mean, Jude had a step. He got him on the inside.
You would have had to lead him a little bit more and a little bit higher, because his
Justin Fields would have made that throw.
I don't know about that.
Just saying. Good first drive though. I mean, you get down the field, but we're already seeing the trend. We don't score touchdowns around here. We kick field goals.
Well, and overall, I think that play call, I don't love it. I get it. Run a slant in the red zone, but I just you have a 6'5" tight end and Noah Fant that you can go to. Alberto, is Alberto playing? I don't know if he's healthy or not.
I'm not sure, but I saw Fant out there. I mean, listen too. You had Javonte Williams, his first 2 carries were 10 yards a pop.
Also, yeah. I mean, just go that. Look, that formation is good. Just run the ball. Run the ball right up the middle. He can get 2 yards.
Well, and they had Royce in that play though, so
either way, I think I would trust to get that first down, and then once you can get that first down, then you can, in the next play, go ahead and run that slant if you want. I'm not gonna blame Locke on that one or Jeudy. I don't like the play call, but
overall a solid drive though. Locke was 2 of 2, 34 yards. He had a big chunker to KJ Hamler, who if he doesn't lose his footing, he probably gets to the 5-yard line, maybe scores, but he lost his footing. But 2 of 2, 34 yards. Javonte Williams already 4 carries, 28 yards out of the gate. Just that Jeudy holding penalty. It's just the little stuff like that, man. Yep. Not only has it been like the quarterback issues, but like just stuff like that has plagued the team for years since Peyton Manning. Years. Little stuff. And it's usually Garrett Bowles holding. Now it's Jerry Jeudy. But Jeudy should just let him go. I mean, once the guy turns his back to the play, just let him go. That's all you got to do. But solid drive. Oh, Locke was 2 of 3 on the drive, excuse me. 2 of 3, 34 yards. defense got a first or a 3-and-out last drive, so we'll see if they can continue it. I don't believe Kirk Cousins is playing. I think Justin Jefferson is still hurt. Yeah, they got Browning in, so. Oh boy. And most of the defensive starters are out for the Broncos today too, from what I understand. Besides Malik Reed is there, but I don't think Malik Reed's a starter. I think Pat Surtain is playing. Yeah, there he is. But outside of that, not really any starters. No Vaughn, no Chubb. I don't think Shelby Harris is playing.
Which makes sense. I mean, the defense is about 80 years old, so I...
That's fair. I mean, I guess you don't really need to see much from them either.
No, they're all veterans. I really, out of the starting lineup, there's really no one who needs to be out there. But hey, I mean, they're still out there playing well this strain.
There's Sternad. That's a guy that Cameron's high on.
Yeah.
I see him tweet about him all the time. But he was a guy who, I think he tore his ACL last year around this time. But more of an athletic linebacker who maybe he cracks the lineup in your passing situations. Still don't know how we're going to cover tight ends this year.
Well, that's a hold. Yikes. That might be a safety.
Yeah, I mean, was he holding him in the end zone, though?
If they call it on the right tackle.
I think it might be close. Oh, no, it's in the end zone. He threw it in the end zone.
Yeah, that's on the right tackle. That's safety.
First points. It's a Nikola Jokic bucket.
If you told me that there it is. That the first points for the Broncos would be a safety, honestly, I'd agree with that. I wouldn't be shocked at all, and I'm not.
But again, why is the right tackle? The quarterback is running past you. Just let him go. That's what Jerry Jeudy did. The guy has the back to his play. Just let him go at that point.
How long do we expect Drew Lock and Teddy to play today?
Well, here's the thing. I want them to play both at least a quarter and a half. I don't think they'll play that much. I bet you maybe they both get 2 or 3, maybe a quarter. That seems reasonable, right? A quarter?
Yeah.
But then I guess Brett Rippon gets a half.
Well, see, I would just say, Drew, you get the first half. Teddy, you get the third quarter, and we'll throw in Rippon in the fourth, and then next week we'll do the opposite. Teddy, you get the first half. Locke, you get the third quarter. I mean, if you really want to get the most out of, if you want to really see the most, I wouldn't play Drew Lock 3 drives, and because next week, now that starters are playing a little bit longer next week, you're going to give Teddy Bridgewater a quarter? Well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
So you have to keep it as even as possible. So I want to see Locke not just for 2 or 3 drives, but I want to see if he gets better as he goes, if he can start to get into rhythm, and so I would give him the first half, and then I'd give Teddy Bridgewater the first half next week. All this
comes back to it's pointless.
It is. Well, it should be Drew Lock.
Yeah.
It should be Drew Lock. Neither of us are big Drew Lock fans, but at the end of the day, he's gonna give you the higher ceiling, and if he does fall on his face in the regular season, then you can go to Teddy Bridgewater later on if you really want to. But if you go with Teddy day one, the problem with doing that is essentially you're saying you're giving up on Drew Lock. I don't see them going from Teddy to Drew Lock. Really, I think if you go with Teddy, I think you just stick with Teddy. So
yeah, I mean, Locke has to be unplayable in my mind. I mean, we talked about it on the last podcast. He has to be unplayable in my mind. But they're both going to get you, I think, around the same spot. A wild card team at best. If they're both playing well, I think you're a wild card team. I don't think Teddy pushes this team over the top in such a large portion.
Well, no, but you know what? You know what? Drew Lock can. Because look, he's 24 years old. If you look, all the people, killing us on Twitter last year for saying, "Oh, you're not giving him enough time," and look at what Josh Allen did in year 3, blah 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 blah. Okay, well, let's see it. Let's see it. Why are we doing this? If you wanna say, well, Drew Lock might take more time to develop than, say, a Kyler Murray, well, okay, understandable. Why are we having him in a quarterback competition then in year 3? Makes no sense.
Again, is it fair to say if Justin Fields was on this team, I mean, this team could possibly go just as far, if not farther? Well, because I think the Broncos have more offensive talent than the Bears do.
Well, I would say this. I think if they would have drafted Justin Fields, I think they would have traded Drew Lock or just cut him. And I think I think you would be watching Teddy Bridgewater right now. And I think they would have.
Andy Dalton's not starting more than 2 games, if at all.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, if I were the Bears, after today, I'd be like, screw it. let's just roll with it.
Yeah, good luck trying to get that to that fan base, rolling out him in week 1.
Right, after seeing what you just saw from Justin Fields. And look, Justin Fields was playing against backups, understandable. But he torched the backups. It wasn't like he played good, but not like he did what he was supposed to do, right? He did what he was supposed to do against backups. There we go. And that's why Drew Lock should start day 1, because he gives you that. Can Teddy look? Hamler was wide open, but that was a thought. That's a bomb. That's a great throw. That's a great throw, and that's why Drew Lock should be starting day 1, because he gives you the higher ceiling. He absolutely gives you the higher ceiling. Hamler that dude's fast. Fantastic throw. Now look, can Bridgewater make that throw? Yeah, he could, but I trust Drew Lock's arm more than Teddy Bridgewater's arm. So in that case, I'll take Drew Lock there. In that play. Now, look, Hamler was wide open. That's an easy throw, but still, I mean,
he just ran past everybody.
That's as good of a start as you could have for Drew Lock. Now, don't take him out, right?
He literally just outran both.
Well, Hamler's fast, man.
Did we miss the extra point? Oh no, we had a safety. I was like, why do we have 9? All right. And that's what that guy can bring, right? We didn't get to see it because he was injured a good portion of the year last year.
This receiving crew is very good. Like we've said, this team has the talent. Absolutely. They have all the talent. But I'll get to this because I want to talk about this. I don't know if you saw this from Colin Cowherd on The Herd, but he ranked his top young quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
And he automatically took out Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, Tua, and Daniel Jones. And his reasoning, and I agree with this, is they don't do anything special. They're not a pop guy. Their ceilings, in my opinion, look, Mac Jones can change our mind. Tua can change our mind, but I mean, from what we saw today, I don't think he really can. They have ceilings. They don't have anything super special. They don't have the strong arm. They don't have, the speed like a Kyler Murray or even like a Justin Fields, right? They're not that electric. But and I was expecting in that list of all the quarterbacks, he had Drew Lock in there, and I was expecting him to take Drew Lock off with those 4. But he said something that you kind of forget about. Drew Lock has the talent. Drew Lock has the mobility to run around. He's not as fast as a Justin Fields, but he can get around. He's quick. We've seen it. But what makes Drew Lock special, what can make him special, is his arm, right? And so if he gets down the other things, the
It's just like the fundamentals of the game,
Well, the fundamentals,
reading the
intangibles,
field, footwork.
Yeah, the intangibles,
that type of stuff.
all those things. If he can get that down, then his ceiling automatically rises. Now, there was 8 quarterbacks after he took the 4. The first 7, I mean, it was Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson. I'm missing one more. Kyler Murray. Did I say Kyler Murray yet? So
I don't think so.
Those were 7 that he had ahead. So Drew Lock was last out of the 8 that he kept after getting rid of the 4. But that can obviously change. Like he's what, 24? So it's not like it's unnecessary to give up on Drew Lock right now, and that's why starting Teddy Bridgewater in my mind would be giving up on him already, and that's not something that you should do unless it's for a Justin Fields, for example, right? Then in that case, okay, well maybe it is smart to just, well, I don't want to say give up on Drew Lock, but move on from Drew Lock. But this is what we talked about with George Payton, right? What's the smartest thing he could have done? And the smartest thing he could have done was not take a quarterback, not risk it, not be tied to a guy, and give this group one more year. And if it doesn't work out,
when you see Justin Fields do what he did today, and you're
right,
that would have been really smart as well, though.
To be fair, Drew Lock has started out great, though. So, I mean, I don't know. Look, I personally would have taken Justin Fields. I thought Justin Fields should have went number 2. As much as I like Zach Wilson, and I've gushed about Zach Wilson for you to hear. I don't need to talk about him anymore. But Justin Fields should have gone number 2 because it's been 1A, 1B with him and Trevor Lawrence for 5 years. So how does he drop to the 4th quarterback taken in the draft after being the 1B to Trevor Lawrence for since high school? That's really not what should have happened.
How do you feel about the new numbers, the number situation?
It depends. I like it for receivers. I like it for the offensive like running backs, receivers. Micah Parsons looks good in number 11. It just depends on the number. Like number 13, OJ Moody at number 13. I don't like that personally.
It just makes me angry. I don't like it.
I don't like that. But I do like I do like KJ Hamler as number 1.
Yeah, that's fine. But
I like Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons watching Hard Knocks. Micah Parsons as number 11. I actually like that. The 13 at corner is weird to me. That's the only one that's the first time that I've been thrown off by it.
It's gonna take some getting used to for me. I'm major get off my lawn. I don't like it. I don't like change. Go back. Like KJ Hamler was 13 last year, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing Ojemudia wear that, and I'm like,
that's a weird number for a corner. Now? That's a weird number for a corner.
Right. Well, 13 is not a common number you see really on any sports teams.
No.
You don't really see a lot of 13s running around.
The only 13 I can think of is Steve Nash.
Was he 13?
Was he 13? Am I wrong on that?
Was he 12?
No, I thought he was.
Was 13. He 13? No, he was 13. I think you're right. Was he? Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was 13. Yeah. It's just weird. I just don't know how to feel about it. And like Pat Surtain at 2, I'm just like, nah. It's just weird.
I don't mind that one. I don't mind Pat Surtain.
You know who he moves a lot like? Pat Surtain. You know who, like, have you ever like just watched his movements physically, and he looks a lot like Champ Bailey. Like, I know it's a stretch. Like, I'm not saying he'll be him, but like,
well, that's who they want them to be. So
when you watch his, like, the video that they put out the other day where he locked down one of the receivers at the Minnesota practice, like, if you would have put 24 on his back, you'd be like, oh, that's Champ. Like, just his movements, how he kind of lines up. He's a bigger corner, like Champ was.
Well, he's the guy. He can be a shutdown corner. Like, he can be your top 5 corner in the league. So I see why they picked him. Like, I get it. I get it. I just obviously, it's come on, man. See what Justin Fields did. Dude. Carolina should be kicking themselves though. Carolina should have took Justin Fields.
Who did they take? I can't even remember who they took.
They took Caleb Farley, another corner, and then they traded for Sam Darnold.
Virginia Tech.
Yeah, and then they traded for Sam Darnold. If I'm a Panthers fan, I'm furious because at least for the Broncos they have Drew Lock, and it's not great, but it's like I understand why they're giving Drew Lock one more year. With Carolina, dude, what are you doing? Wow,
they just believe in Sam Darnold.
Caleb Farley better be a Hall of Famer if I'm a Panthers fan. Like, I'm furious. If I'm a Panther, I don't know any Panthers fans. But I wonder what's going on over there in Carolina, what they're thinking after seeing Justin Fields today.
With no Broncos starters in, I wish we could just have like the option just to watch Pat Surtain because I just want to watch him. Now that he's out there, I just want to watch him. And I just saw him lock up the receiver on the outside, on the far side. They tried to hit him deep, and he was there. Now he's playing off coverage, but they haven't thrown at him yet. There's Ojemudia holding, but that might be pass interference. I don't know how they're going to call it, but I don't think this quarterback has looked Pat Surtain's way.
No, and I wouldn't if I were him. You're trying to make a team. It's not.
It's like it's just left side and checkdowns, left side and checkdowns. I'm not even looking to him. It's going to be interesting. He's a big dude, though.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they use him. Look, you spent the 10th overall pick on a corner when essentially you have him at number 4 right away. But he better be out there at least 75% of plays.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's what I think I told you. From what I'm hearing, he's been playing a lot of dime linebacker. Because if you think about their cornerback room, and I think it was Zach Stevens that put it out, maybe Zach Stevens or I forgot who did, but the Broncos have gotten calls about their cornerback room to see if anybody's available. Yep. And they've also got a call from Baltimore to see about Tim Patrick's availability. But, I mean, you signed Ronald Darby in free agency, who many like as a corner. You signed
Locke is
Fuller.
You know what? Real quick, I just want to say he's flashed for me.
PJ Locke?
Yeah. I've never heard of him, so this is the first time I'm seeing him. I don't know if he was a draft pick, if he was a free. Who is he?
I think he was undrafted.
Because he is that's like the third play that I've seen from him. PJ Locke, second season with the Broncos, played in 15 games I don't even remember seeing him last year. Oh, and that was Surtain.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
I think that's the last time we see him throw that way.
I mean, he was playing off coverage.
Yeah, and he got.
Look at him. He's about 5 yards off, and he just.
Look, man, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be great, and it's tough because we're not. When we complain about the Broncos taking Surtain over Fields, we're not complaining about Surtain.
Nothing against him.
It's nothing against him because he's fantastic.
Where we've been as a franchise.
Right. Surtain's fantastic, and he's showed it, obviously. But it's just part of me just wishes that Carolina would have taken him at 9. Because they took a corner. I don't know why they took Farley over Surtain, but if they should have taken Surtain, I think at that point the Broncos either would have traded down, would have picked Micah Parsons, or would have picked Justin Fields.
Yeah, Micah Parsons would have been fun too. I mean, I know he had some question marks coming out of the draft. He looks
great.
But I mean, you talk about a guy who can fly around. I think they said it on Hard Knocks. So I think it was Dak.
He's always around the ball.
He is fast.
Yeah, and another guy was like, that dude is always around the ball.
And he's kind of one of those screw loose type of guys as well.
Yeah. He's going to be great for Dallas. That's exactly what they needed. He's going to be great.
I mean, but you have a guy like him, that's the type of linebacker you line up against the Travis Kelce. Because I mean, who did we see, shut him down in the Super Bowl? It was, Levante David, I think it was.
But you can also, and I was going to get to this, I forgot that I was going to say this, but you could put Surtain on a guy like Travis Kelce. Because he's 6'2".
And maybe that's why they're playing him in dime linebacker situations.
Maybe.
Because, I mean, you're on the field and you have all those DBs out there.
Oh, Locke
I mean, and going back to that, like, you need
safety.
All those guys are going to be out there. Darby, Callahan, Fuller, and then Surtain. I feel like I'm missing one. I think that's all of them. But I mean, Ojemudia is probably going to get the short end of the stick here. But
yeah, he'll be number 5. Drew Lock 3 of 4, 114 and touchdown. It's good of a start. If you told me that, I'd be like, okay.
It's a good stat line. Granted, most of it came on that big chunk play, but I think mine just froze up.
Oh,
there it goes. Now they're like, yeah, we're not letting Javonte Williams go off for 100 in the preseason game.
I'm really excited about Javonte Williams. I really like him.
He seems like, well, obviously he's a tough runner, but he seems like a fall forward type of runner too.
But he has that breakaway speed that you would want. I brought him up when we were talking to I forget who it was, but it was before the draft, and there was 2 North Carolina backs, and I liked Javonte a little bit more. There you go. I like reverses to Hamler.
And that's like easy money. You got to utilize these players in their skill sets.
At least it wasn't a reverse to Noah Fant.
Scangarello somewhere like, he's like, yeah, we could reverse it to the 4-3 guy, but hear me out. What if we reverse it to the guy that's 4-8? That guy. That's it. First play of the season. Never forget that. Tight end reverse. Like, who did he think they were going to fool with that? Even if you did fool him, he maybe gets 5 yards.
And flag. Okay. Well, that was one of those throws that it's like,
Yeah, I mean, he was open, too.
He was open.
Is it offsides, maybe? If it was false start, they would have blown dead, right? Yeah.
Yeah, offsides.
I kind of want to see what was Locke's footwork like on that one. Because that was a ball that got away from him. And they're not going to give us a replay on that.
Nope. But yeah, I mean, those are the throws that are concerning with Locke. And then it's the decision making of locking on to one guy on the left side of the field, and meanwhile Jerry Jeudy's wide open on the right side. 52 just got completely lost, by the way. But this right here is what Drew Lock can do that Bridgewater can't. And so you have the arm with Lock and you have his speed. Now Bridgewater's not slow, but like he can't.
No, but I think both of them are capable of, scampering out for a good 5 yards. Yeah. I think both can outrun a defensive lineman. Now, they're not Lamar Jackson, but I mean, you don't need that. You just need quarterbacks today need to be at least somewhat mobile. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to improvise, have some mobility to get away from guys. The days of just standing there like a statue, I mean, you don't see a lot of those guys having success in the league. There you go, Royce. It's a solid first quarter for the most part.
Yeah.
Probably get one more play out of this. Now, is Locke going to sit, though, after this quarter? That's the thing. So he got a full quarter.
Well, they won't just interrupt this drive, though. I think he gets the first half. That's what I would do. Either he gets the first half or this is his last drive.
Yeah, I think this will probably be his last one. I would be surprised if he plays a full half.
Oh. Oh.
Don't you do this to me, Jerry. Was that too far out?
That was too far out. Judy had him. I mean, that's not an easy throw. Yeah. Oh, just like.
At least, you know what? He missed him deep by about 80 yards last year. That time it was about by a yard. So we're making progress a little bit.
Well, and that's not an easy throw. And I'll say this. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't make that throw either.
He may not attempt that throw.
No, he probably doesn't attempt that throw.
Couple reverses at the gate.
Look at the Broncos being a little bit more creative. That's new.
You have to think, too. This is without Cortland Sutton.
Mm-hmm.
Without Tim Patrick.
Melvin
I don't think
Gordon.
Tim Patrick's playing. Yeah, Melvin Gordon. I mean, his offense has so many weapons. Now, it might not be like top 5 offense worthy, but I mean, you have the tools to be a really good offense.
Well, I think the goal is just to be in the top half. If you can get, 15 or 14, and that's what for Drew Lock, that's the goal, right? If you can be a top 15 quarterback, like that's what they need. And if he's a top 15 quarterback and they're a top 15 offense, they can win 10, 11 games. By the way, did you see
what their over-under is?
Did you see the stream?
Yes, I did. Everybody, we have a new logo, and I say everybody, and there's literally just us in here. But people will hear this when they're listening to it. That looks so good. I think it came out good.
Yeah.
One day, I think you'll be as good with your sports opinions as you are as creating logos. You're getting there. You're not there yet. You're like the Drew Lock. There's some moments.
It says the guy
need to refine it a little bit.
That's lost like 4 straight bets here.
Not true.
I think it might be 5.
Probably like 2. Just the Nuggets and then the Bucks one. That was it. That was all. That's okay though. I won pick'em. We're gonna get back into that. I plan on winning our Broncos prop bets that we have.
That fantasy football.
I was thinking about that the other night. I literally told you after the podcast I would give you a decision, and then I thought about that the day after. I was like, I never texted him.
Nope.
I was thinking about it last night though. It's literally an internal struggle for me because I know it's gonna happen. Because if I say yes, I'm gonna be committed. And I'm going to put my life and my love on the line and my heart. Then I'm going to get crushed. I'm still mad at Le'Veon Bell. Like, legitimately. What he did to me, I don't think I'll ever get over. Just sitting out the entire year. And, of course, I took him with my first pick. Of course.
That's your fault. That was a bad pick.
I thought he was going to come back. How was I supposed to know he was going to sit the entire year?
You don't take someone who's not going to camp number 1 overall.
Thought he would go. I don't know what to say.
See, that's on you then.
Looks like Bones Highlands is tearing it up in Summer League, so I can't wait to watch that game later.
Nice.
Get rid of it.
Oh wow, Judy.
Oh hey.
Oh wow.
Oh.
Yeah. He'll have a good year. I don't. I'm not worried about Judy. I know you still are. You have your
I mean,
issues.
Listen, I just want him to catch the ball. That's all I want him to do. I mean, but that's special. He literally, okay, that was a good block by 9, but he outran 3 guys. He turned a 10-yard gain, 12-yard gain into 25.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much explosion on this offense.
Royce Freeman.
Oh, wow. He might have. I saw someone tweet this earlier, but with Mike Boone going down, he might now be a lock to make the roster.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that they drafted second round 3-4 years ago. He was supposed to be the dude, and then Philip Lindsay happened, and then they signed Melvin Gordon, and Royce has just been kind of like the forgotten guy. But he's had some good runs today.
Yeah,
I like that one there. I mean, he makes a guy not miss, but he definitely was a hard tackle there. Another solid drive, though. I mean, a good mix of run and pass, and then you have Judy, who just makes one explosive play. And that's what they have. Again, they have so many guys that can turn a routine play into a 25-yard plus play or a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Cortland Sutton can do that. KJ Hamler, if he just runs by you, he can do that. Jerry Jeudy can do that. Noah Fant can do that. I don't know if Albert O can do that, but I mean, there's guys on this roster that can do that.
Like we've said a million times, I mean, this is a very, very exciting roster. Like, I mean,
think Vaughn was being sincere when he said this is the best roster we've fielded in about 5 years.
Yeah.
I think he was 100% spot on.
Could you imagine how excited we'd be right now if Justin Fields was on this team?
I mean, that's kind of like, Russell Wilson being dropped on that Seahawks team. No, I'm not going to say that this team would have won a Super Bowl, or can win a Super Bowl, but I mean, you drop him into a team full of just pieces. Dropping Dak Prescott onto that Dallas team.
Nice
throw.
That made noise. There we go. Look, it's the Vikings defense. We don't know. It could be a lot of backups. We don't really. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of backups right now.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But look, Drew Lock he's doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And that's 100%. He's not making mistakes. The play calling, by the way, has been fantastic. That's a fantastic throw. He's not forcing anything. A couple of times where he's gotten out of the pocket and just gotten a couple yards or 5 yards just off of a little scramble. That is something that, those are things that you need to see from him. He's been really good. He's been really good. I think I've seen all I need to see from Drew Lock. I would like to see him play more. I just want to see how he continues. We've seen Drew Lock just be super inconsistent. So that's why I kind of want to see a whole half, because I want to see how he responds from success. Because one of the biggest games that I remember last year was the New England game, where there was 3 drops in the end zone. And I remember after the game, I said, I tweeted out his sound because he ended up throwing 2 picks after. And people were calling me box score watcher. It's like, no. It's not like the 3 drops in the end zone resulted in picks. It was 3 drops in the end zone, and then Drew Lock turned around and threw 2 picks after that. He responded, and they were bad picks, right? That was his response from those 3 drops. You cannot do that. That's the issue, right? Is he's been inconsistent, bad decision making, trying to force things. So now, if the 2 of those passes are caught, and that's 14 points, does he make those throws later on? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe they're running the ball more, but that doesn't mean that you can ignore those 2 interceptions, because they were bad throws. They were bad decisions. So that's where I would like to see Drew Lock play a whole half, just because I want to see if he can continue to do this the whole half. Can he end the half? What is he at right now? He's at
5 for 7, 151, 2 touchdowns, 153.3 rating.
At this rate, can he finish the half 8 of 9, or 8 of 9, 8 of 11 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Can he continue what he's doing? Or as we go on, does he get loose with the ball? Does he try to take more risks? Does he try to start forcing the ball? Those are things that I want to see, and that's something that we just, if he sits, and I'm going to assume that he sits here, we won't get to see that, but that's where the issues for Drew Lock is. Whereas we know what we're going to get from Teddy Bridgewater. It's not going to be what we just saw from Drew Lock, but we're also probably not going to get the interceptions that Lock would probably end up making later on in the game. So,
well, and I think too, we need to give, for as good as Drew Lock is playing right now, and I don't want to take anything away from him because he's made smart decisions. He had that one throw to the left to Hamler where it was kind of like, what happened there? But give credit to Pat Shurmur today.
Yep.
He's had some really good play calls.
Yep.
I think part of it is they're able to get the running game going. Again, it's probably because there's a fair mix of backups in there, if not more. But Drew had to just do what he had to do. Just focus on just executing. Doesn't matter who's out there, just execute. And he's done that. Pat Shurmur, I thought, so far, he's had really good play calls. He's not, forcing things. But again, it's just things are on schedule right now. They have the whole playbook open to them. And it looks like that's a sack right there. Who is that? He's just holding on for dear life. Mincy? What is that guy's name? He's just... The quarterback wasn't even sacked, and he's just pulling him down. But no, Shurmur's been great today too. Mm-hmm. So
KJ Hamler's making plays, Jerry Jeudy's making plays.
Yeah. And speaking of all that, Bones had a go-ahead layup to put the Nuggets up, but it looks like they're going to overtime. So there's a lot going on in Denver sports right now. 13 is just weird. I just don't like that.
Yeah.
It makes me weird. It makes me weird. It makes me feel weird. It doesn't make me weird. I do that by myself. 5 of 7, 151. I mean, that's a good stat line. That's really good. He's looked good today. Oh, no. I just saw O'Halloran. I think you're ahead of me, but...
Well, we're both behind. Something's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's just say we tried to warn the QB. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
I mean, look. Obviously overreaction, but this team can win 11 games. This team can win 11 games. This team should win 11 games. Not can. This team should win 11 games.
Oh. Oof.
I mean, that's just...
I mean, don't know why he went that way.
Yeah, why?
Didn't work.
We said it. Hey, that should be the last time you throw that way.
Didn't work the last time, Browning. And he was like, "Screw it, I'm doing it."
I mean, dude,
was this a bad throw or? I was a little bit behind the guy. It was a little bit
behind the guy, but I mean, that's a hell of a play.
Oh, it is. Yeah. I mean, again, I think he was playing off coverage, so he's just.
I mean, that's just an easy play for Surtain, but he's good, man. I mean, he's really good. And he's showing why they took him at 10. It'd be a little bit easier if Justin Fields decided to fall on his face instead of, lighting it up. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not crying inside. I'll be right back.
Unbelievable stuff, though. I mean, Surtain playing really well. Got a pass breakup. Got a pick 6. I mean, Jerry Jeudy's look good.
The young
Zach
guys.
Stevens, the young guys. Zach Stevens just tweeted out Broncos up 23-3. I said I forgot how to react. We haven't been up like this on a team in forever. How do we act in these moments? What do we do in these moments again? Like, how do we do these? How do we do winning again? I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, look, I hope we can say that we were wrong about Drew Lock. I really do.
Well, that would be the best case scenario for everybody, right? Like, I think we would gladly eat our words.
Oh yeah.
100%. If Drew Lock, listen, he doesn't have to be Pat Mahomes level. He doesn't have to be that. But if he could just be top 10 quarterback, I mean, that's asking a lot. But like, even if he's 10 or 11, I mean, the talent's here, you know? It's just, he has the talent. It's never been a talent issue. It's just been a polishing, refinement type of thing. You know, learning the game. They're showing Surtain's Papa getting a pick 6 against the Broncos. He's a big dude. 6'2", 212. That's a big corner. Special team's going to ruin it? Okay. He just saw it all the way. He's just sitting and reacting the whole way. Now, granted, he also is going up against some backups, but again, for a guy that you drafted as high as you did, that's what you expect to see from these guys.
Right.
So, who's 11? They sat down the other. You're like, yeah, you're just call it a day.
This is Kellen Mond.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, it is. He was what, Texas A&M?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I liked him in the beginning of the year, but he kind of fell apart.
Okay, why is their font different on the numbers? I saw someone tweet about this earlier. Their front number is a different font than their back number. Why? Is that on purpose? I don't understand.
They look the same to me. What do you mean?
No, look, watch. Once you see it, it's a different font. The first number is more, it's got like points on the ends.
Oh.
Look at it. See?
Yeah.
I'm like pointing to my screen as if you can see it. I'm like, right there, don't you see it? Look, see, like that one's more curved and the other one's like just a standard one.
Yeah.
What? Who gets to design things today in the world? Equipment manager was like, we could do continuity, but hear me out. What if we did them mismatched? Let's try that. I mean, you wouldn't notice it unless you're actually looking at it. I saw someone tweet about that earlier today.
Yeah, I wouldn't have noticed it. You don't notice it until you see someone with the two same numbers, though.
Right. That's like what something the Broncos would do. Glad we're not to that function of, or that level of dysfunction, that we have two different numbers on our uniform.
No, but we have an unnecessary quarterback competition.
Well, we also have a head coach who doesn't watch the offense. Someone tweeted out, Jaguars took Lawrence over Surtain. That's funny. I'm curious to see. I would assume Drew's day is done, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm questioning Carolina. What the hell were they doing?
I don't know. I feel bad for Christian McCaffrey though.
Yeah.
Because
talk about that team's a disaster.
I mean, he got paid, but he's been injured the last 2 years now.
You'll get a broken Sam Darnold, and then you draft Caleb Farley over Patrick Surtain, the corner that everyone thought was the number one corner, and you took a different corner. Great job, guys. Brilliant.
Our backups are better than the Vikings' backups. Take that, Minnesota. This is revenge for the Timberwolves beating us. 3rd and 23. I mean, I would think Drew's day is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be back out. So we might see Teddy Bridgewater, which, oh yeah, Kellen Mond didn't want any part of that. I'm getting off the field. I don't think 2's out there, but I'm just throwing it in the dirt. I think Pat Surtain's day is done too. Nuggets got to win. Love it. The only thing that could make this day better is Nikola Jokic coming to watch this with me. I wonder how Philip Lindsay's doing today.
I'd be shocked if Philip Lindsay got more than 600 yards rushing.
I'm not going to acknowledge your disrespect of him anymore. I don't have time for this. How dare you? Ooh.
Get out of the way.
Bones finished today with 28 points. 5 of 8 from 3. Yeesh. Looks like Teddy Bridgewater's got his helmet on. He's going to be out there. All right. Teddy time.
Well, he should be able to do what Drew Lock did. He should be able to move the ball very easily.
Yeah, well, I mean, depends on who's out there for him, though. So he's not going to get the luxury of having Hamler and Judy. So
sure, but he should still play well.
Yeah.
If this is really,
But I think he'll get. Well, I mean, after today, should he start the next game?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Drew Lock should be the starting quarterback. So I think this is all stupid, but yeah, for them, if they really need to see it, then yeah.
I don't even know if I mean, after Drew came out like that today, I think I'd just rather him start the next game. But again, I'm with you. We both agree he should be the starter. There's no point to make Teddy the starter. So someone tweeted out, looks like it was Eric Dalala, Broncos media. Folks, if I were you, I'd block off February 13th in your calendars. Guess that's the day of the Super Bowl. Feels good to win. Feels good. There's still time, though. Because we were up on this Vikings team like this with, who was it, Brandon Allen? Remember that game a couple years ago? We were up at halftime like 28-10 or 28-3. Ended up losing that game. Let's see. All right. Let's see what Teddy can bring to the table. Who's he got in there? Like Tyree Cleveland, Trinity Benson, who caught a touchdown, Royce Freeman. Oh, why'd they blow that dead?
Patrick Surtain is bigger than Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy's 6'2"? I mean, I guess they're technically the same size. 6'2", 210. I think Surtain's listed at 212.
Royce Freeman's gonna get a lot of work today.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, do we even have another running back outside of him and Javonte?
I don't know.
Because Boone's hurt. Melvin Gordon didn't play. I think that's it. I mean, maybe they have one more guy.
Yeah, they have Crockett and Bellamy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Just two random guys.
And full start. What do we have next week? Seahawks. Go to Seattle. You got the Rams at home. Gosh, next Saturday's a late game, 8 p.m. Oof. He would have thrown it to Trinity. It's even more yards, but that's a good pickup. That's who I thought he was going to. Who's 82? Saubert. Okay, if Teddy leads us to a touchdown here, now I'm just going to question if the Vikings just actually suck.
I think it's getting to that point.
Because we're like everything feels like it's just going perfectly. So, I mean, is Pat Shurmur doing really good, or the Vikings just have absolutely zero depth?
Yeesh.
It's looking down the field at least. That's what we wanted. I just don't know how he dirts it like that. Yeah, like it's Kendall Hinton. Yeah, pretty sure the Vikings just aren't good at football. Shannon Sharp just tweeted out 12 minutes ago. Pat Surtain looks amazing. You can tell he's been coached well at a very young age. He has some things you just can't teach. Instincts. Doesn't mean he won't have growing pains. Does look good though.
Yeah.
Does look the part.
And I think for your number one, being behind the guys that he's behind, I think will help him.
Kind of like a Bradley Roby situation. You know, you draft Bradley Roby. I mean, he was what? Somewhere in the teens, I think, is where they took him, or in the 20s. Mm-hmm. But he had to sit behind, Chris Harris, Aqib Talib. Now, obviously, when it was his turn, for whatever reason, it just didn't go well.
Right.
But, I mean, in Houston, he had a good year last year, pretty sure, before he got dinged with PEDs. Oh, 9 was open. Throw the ball, Teddy. It's going to be holding. And he scores, but if he'd have thrown it to Kendall Hinton, that also would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a little unfair, but I just feel like Drew Lock was a lot more comfortable out there. Just watching Bridgewater play,
Well, I think part of that too. I mean, he's playing with like third string linemen.
Right. So that's why it's a little unfair, but
What was the call? Hands to the face, or what was it?
I don't know. Yeah, I would assume hands to the face.
I don't think it was holding. All right, well, now you get to see him in a situation where you kind of got to go down the field a little bit. And they run a draw. Of course. I mean, technically, both Broncos quarterbacks have led the Broncos to touchdown drives. Got to go down the field.
There's your classic dump off. Gotta love it. Good job, Teddy.
Yeah, this probably wasn't much down there, but
no, maybe not.
I mean, it was a touchdown, so guess we could chalk that up to Cam Fleming. Yeah, I mean, there's not. I mean, well, he probably could have hit that comeback on Hinton right there, but. Well, this got out of hand fairly quickly. Now I'm curious to see if how long they're gonna give Teddy when you're up this much. I mean, does he play into the third?
I don't know. How many was that? That wasn't his first drive, was it? That was
his first drive.
I think you start him in the third, and maybe give him like 2 drives. Maybe you haven't played the. I guess you haven't played the whole third. Or at least most of it. It depends, I guess, how fast those drives are. But I would give him 2 more drives.
Then we go in for Let It Rip Rippin'. Who else can we even watch on the defense now? I think there's still a couple guys that they drafted. Caden Stearns. Teddy will be good for those Sunday afternoon naps. Oh, James. Yeah, it looks like Surtain is officially done.
Yeah, it looks like all the
still down there.
All the backups are in. I don't know how many corners they actually have available to play today, so you might have to have.
Moody is going to play the whole game. It looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, got Ojemudia, Motley, Harrison. I mean, no, I guess you got some guys. Duke Dawson's down the list. Well, here we go. Vikings showing some life. They're alive. They're not dead.
I'm curious to see how good the Vikings will be this year. I mean, I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
No.
Still,
their defense did not look too great.
It's just one of those teams that you don't think they're gonna win, and then they win. They win the games you don't think they will, and then they lose the games you think they'll.
You hated picking against the Vikings last season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every time I picked against them, Kirk Cousins would lead them to a win. Every time I chose them, Kirk Cousins would fail me.
Those are my favorite.
It's just the whole NFC North, really. The Bears were like that, and the Lions just suck. So I mean, that's not really hard. But... All right, so if we had to grade Locke's performance today, what would you give him?
An A.
Yeah.
He had one weird looking throw, but there was pressure. I don't know. That one play, that weird play, there was an offsides, right? So maybe he saw the offsides and just wanted to get rid of the ball. I don't know. That was a weird one, but other than that, he was perfect. So I don't want to give him an A+ just because the Vikings defense just might be that bad. I don't know. So an A. A solid A.
I mean, he would have led the team to 3 touchdown drives. Is that correct? If Jerry Jeudy didn't hold and they go for it on 4th and didn't get it.
Yeah.
So, I think an A is fair.
Realistically, they wouldn't have gone for it on 4th down. So, yeah, I mean, give them, what, for 17 points or 20 points? So yeah, I mean that's more points that they averaged last season in a whole game. He did that in a little over a quarter.
Yeah, quarter and a half.
So yeah,
he looked like a guy today that improved on what he needed to work on last year.
Yeah. Well, that's the most comfortable I've seen him look. And he just made the smart plays. The scrambles. He had 2 of them, I believe, right? 2 of them.
Yeah, I think so.
There was nothing downfield. No, I guess he technically only had one for 6 yards. But that one, I feel like last year he probably just tries to force it somewhere. And even on that run, he didn't just tuck and go. He kept looking, and there wasn't anything on the touchdown throw. Right? He could have ran for a couple yards, but he kept looking, made the smart play. He looked good. He looked really good. But it's the Vikings defense. I don't know. They probably didn't have some starters out there. So Sutton wasn't out there, so Melvin Gordon wasn't out there, so fair. But he did what he was supposed to do.
Well, I don't think it can be. I don't think we should brush it under the rug that all of Drew Lock's big plays today came in play action situations.
Yeah.
His touchdown to Hamler, his rollout for the touchdown earlier. Oh, goodness.
Is that Lock?
Yeah.
That? I really like him. He's the one thing real quick before you continue. The safeties is another position I really wanted to watch today because the 2 rookies that they went ahead and drafted, I'm really excited about to watch those 2 guys. But Locke has kind of come out of nowhere. I really like him.
He kind of reminds me of like Jamal Adams a little bit. Kind of like an undersized guy, kind of wears the same type of.
He's always around the ball.
Yeah, just kind of looks kind of has a Jamal Adams look to him.
Nice tackle.
Yeah, he's flying around.
Yeah. Other than Drew Lock, it's been the Lock show. The two Locks have looked.
I mean, he was other side. He was opposite field, and he came across the field, jumped over a guy, and made a tackle. He's looked good.
3 stars of the day so far: Lock, and Surtain.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Hamler has like 3 catches for 110 yards.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 stars so far. Yeah. I mean, those are the players. Yeah, those are the guys that have really. And Judy had a really nice play too. And
if he's got 2 inches more of on his arms, he probably gets another 40-yard catch.
Yeah. And even that throw, yeah, it was overthrown, but like you can't really, because there's a safety over the top. That's a hard throw to make for Drew Lock. Like that's a hard throw for anyone.
Either your guy gets it or nobody does.
Right, and so he put it in the perfect spot. Judy got held up a little bit. So I think Drew Lock threw it where he was supposed to be honest. Is there a chance that Ojemudia doesn't make the team?
I mean, I think he probably makes it as the 5th corner. Maybe he spends some time on the practice squad.
Well, here's my question. Because Locke has looked great. The 2 rookie safeties, do you just keep them on practice squad? Will they be picked up? Because you got to cut them. So I'm not...
Well, I know Caden Stearns was one of them. Who was the other guy?
I'm pulling up real quick. Jamar Johnson.
So, I mean, you have Surtain, Darby, Callahan, Fuller, Ojemudia. That's 5 corners right there. I mean, maybe you keep 1 on the practice squad. That's 5 right there. You're obviously Simmons, Kareem, Stearns.
Well, you got PJ on the depth chart. PJ Locke and Trey Marshall are both ahead of the 2 rookies. PJ Locke, he's making the team. Oh, there's Caden Stearns out there, 6'1". I'm really excited about Caden Stearns.
But he just made the last tackle on the other play. I'm surprised they haven't retired 30 yet.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
I'm really when I saw that they gave that to him, I was like, oh wow, like we're just gonna keep that in.
Maybe TD doesn't want it to be retired. I don't know. Get down, Mond. Okay. Yeah, he'll learn quick. Well, I would hope so, at least.
And he's probably not gonna get much playing time. Well, I mean, never say never with Kirk Cousins.
I was just gonna say. I mean. People thought that Kalaman could have been at least before the season, he could have been a 1st-round pick. Nice play by Ojemudia. He has talent. He didn't put it together over in Texas A&M. A lot of people compared him to Dak Prescott, which is kind of funny because they're both 3rd, 4th-round picks. I mean,
really good play.
Yeah, that's a good play by Ojemudia.
There's a lot of Broncos fans there. It's kind of looking like a Chargers game with all the orange spattered around.
So one thing you can never say is the Broncos have a bad fan base. A dumb fan base, you can say that, but...
Yes. Do we lick cardboard and window for a living? Yes. Yes, we do. But there's a lot of us. So... It's like Lilo and Stitch where he's just licking the window. That's Broncos country. That's us. That's what we do. We're not smart.
Spoiled,
but just licking windows. So it's just the entire time. That's all we do. It's a good day for Vic. Good day. I think this is probably as good of an open that you could have.
Yeah.
A lot of uneasiness going into this season about how things are going to turn out. You didn't get Aaron Rodgers. You didn't draft Justin Fields. Locks inconsistencies. Teddy Bridgewater's up and down in the camp.
I don't know where that was too. I'm having a blast watching the safeties out there.
Well, I mean, PJ Locke is everywhere.
Yeah,
he's just running around everywhere he goes.
Made a play. The Broncos have a good team. They have a really good team.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a stretch to say maybe the ceiling is being the second best team in the division. I would certainly pick them to finish with a better record than the Raiders right now.
Yeah.
I think them and the Chargers, maybe that's a push.
I think overall, I think the Broncos have a better roster. The Chargers just have the better quarterback.
They just have the QB figured out.
Right. But I'll take the Broncos roster all day over the Chargers right now.
It's a good half.
Yeah.
It was a good half.
That was I did not expect that. That was as perfect as it could have gone for the Broncos.
Mm-hmm. But now there's expectations.
Right.
Like, okay.
Right.
We saw you do that. Now do it again.
Right.
It's only good for one day. It's only, good for so long.
Yep.
And then if they go to Seattle and they stink it up next Saturday,
right.
No one cares.
Well, and last season we talked about this a lot, but as far as splash games, this is, in my opinion, the third time that Drew Lock has splashed for me. Obviously, against Houston his rookie year, and then he had a game last season against the Raiders. I guess no, this is the fourth, and then Panthers and Raiders, and then Houston year one. So obviously it's just preseason, but I'll give him 3.5. He looked, 5 of 7, 151 yards. Obviously, most of those yards came on one play, but it's easy out there when you have so many weapons. At least it should be, and that's what it looked like. It looked exactly how it should be. He has a lot of weapons. 2 of them weren't playing. Alberto, if you want to count that, that's 3. A lot of weapons.
Yeah. And I think if you're a Vikings fan, you shouldn't feel too terrible. You didn't have Justin Jefferson. Dalvin Cook didn't play.
Kirk
Cousins, for whatever that's worth. Maybe he doesn't try Pat Surtain twice. I don't know. But, I just don't. It's a bold strategy, man. Like, it was working when he was just going to the left and checking it down.
Right, well, pick on OJ Moody all you want.
The first one, he got away with it. Even tipped up in the air on the first one. It's like, okay, maybe we should avoid that. And he was like, nope, I'm going to underthrow this out route. He's going to get there. It's bold strategy. But everybody's looked good today. It's been a good day. It's nice to be on the winning side. Granted, it's preseason. Still a lot to be learned, improved, but I think this is the best that you could have asked for the Broncos if you were wanting any expectations for today. Let's see. Locke was under center, 13 of 19 snaps. That's surprising, actually. Yeah. Didn't know he was under center that much, but again, that's when we saw him have the most success, right? First year, he was under center in that 4 out of 5 wins that he had.
Yep.
So, go to the play action. Utilize that. We've seen teams win. You can win playing that style of an offense. Allow him to keep things on track, take the shots when necessary, and rely on this running game. The running game should be the focal point of this team.
Yeah.
You got Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams, Royce Freeman has shown some prowess there. If you can keep things third and manageable, I 100% trust Alberto, Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy to do something to get you a first down.
Just get open.
And Jerry Jeudy's practically always open.
Right. Where it gets difficult is when you only have maybe one weapon that gets doubled. Then, you're having to force things and, so when you have so many weapons, I mean, more than likely you should always have an opening, whether it's to a receiver, tight end, running back, or a run, 6-yard scramble. But don't force anything. And look, he had the same weapons out there today as he did all of last year. So, what was the issue last year? It was decision making. It was forcing things when he shouldn't have, and he didn't do that today. Now, can he consistently do that? We'll see.
That's the key. All right. Should we continue this for the second half, or have you seen all you can see?
I mean, no. I think we've seen everything that we need to see. I mean, if we continue, we'll more than likely just be continuing to make fun of the Vikings, and that's probably not a good idea. So.
Okay. I'm excited to go back and watch the Summer League game from today. Bones had a big game, so I like that. I'm going to go back and watch that. Apparently Zeke had another rough game, so I don't love that. Apparently he dribbled the ball out of bounds on a post-up. So all I'm saying, Zeke, we're approaching JaVale McGee territory. So, there's literally 3 plays last game, it felt like, where he's dribbling down the court, and I'm just like, this is not going to end well. And I think 2 out of 3, ended in him getting a charge, and then 1 was a turnover. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Ugh. Zeke, help yourself. But, all right, good day for the Broncos. Nuggets get a win. All is right for now. For Brandon Stola on the other side, I'm Stephen Preach Jr. This has been the Behind the Glass Sports Podcast.